Today, my plan was to show you two, three things, but I will go a little slow because after talking to you guys, I'm feeling like it's better to go a little slow so that you'll understand each and everything. Okay. And if you are not understanding, just let me know. I'll show you again and again. There is no problem. Okay. So today, what I'm going to do, uh, let's take a surface. So a nerve surface maybe. Why nerve surface? Guys, try to understand. Why nerve surface? Because nerve surface, the UV, can you remember the difference between nerves and polygon? We have written we don't have to unwrap the UVs in nerve surface, but in polygonal surface we need to unwrap the UVs. Can you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so that is the reason I am taking the nerve surface. I don't have to do anything on the surface. Directly I can use it. Okay, so I am using nerve surface, and later on we'll give several lectures on polygonal surface. So don't worry about that. You will understand everything, I'm sure. So this is a nerve surface, and I'm going to the hypershade. So when you
Sir,
are doing
screen share.
texturing, oh sorry, yes. Okay, so once again, so this is a nerve sphere I have taken. Okay, and let's open the hypershade. I showed last day from Windows rendering editor also you can open the hypershade. Okay, so while doing the texturing, make sure your hypershade is open. This is the area you are designing your textures. This is the area. Okay, so let's go to the Maya surface. Okay, so far this concept is clear. We have to take two things. One is the material, and the another one is texture. Is that clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So far we have discussed that only. We need material and we need textures. Textures means colors. Okay, two different things. Now in this also, so the very first thing we have to do, we need a surface. Surface means material. So let's take a Lambert. Okay, I have taken a Lambert. Now just select it, right click on it, and assign material to viewport selection. Okay, just double click on it. So this material is assigned to this object, and this is the attribute editor. So simple Lambert. Okay. Now I want to texture it. So if I want to change the color, then what I have to do? I will simply go to the color and I will assign a color to it, and we have got it, isn't it? Now I don't need a flat color. I need some pattern. Then what? Then I need to add a texture to it. So by clicking on this, I can browse the texture. That is also possible. Or simply from here also, I can select a texture and I can plug it with this, with the material. That is also possible. Same thing we are going to do. Okay. If you are very much confused, then for the time being, you can just click on this checker box and can browse. Okay. You don't have to connect it then. Automatically it will be connected. But uh, it's better to practice it from the beginning by taking the notes. Then later on it will be very beneficial for you if you know how to connect the notes. So what I'm going to do, create a fractal let's create a fractal. It's a texture. Okay, so inside the 2D texture I have taken a fractal. Okay, so just select and drag and drop, that is also fine. We'll change the color and automatically connect it. Or you can just drag and drop like this. We are doing the same thing. Okay, undo, undo, just select it, click over here and click on fractal. Then also it will become the same thing. Okay, you can do any of these three. Okay, so I have connected this. Now let's check the viewport. Nothing is visible. Why? Because we are not in texture mode. So 4, wireframe mode, 5, object mode, and 6, texture mode. Alright, in the viewport, you can see the texture. If you are pressing 6, in 5, only object mode, 6, texture mode. You need to remember. 7, we know it's a lighting mode, right? Okay, all right. Now, what I want, a pattern like the military jacket, like the military jacket. Okay, what it is called? Can anybody remind? That pattern is called something. Uh, Anybody can remind that pattern what it is called? Okay, maybe I'll remember after some time. So what I'm doing, I need to convert this pattern something like that. So just double click on it, okay, and going to its properties. There are several textures, okay. So you don't have to remember each and every meaning of each and every properties. I'm using since so many years. Okay, I don't remember this by trial and error process. I just try to understand what's the amplitude is doing, what the threshold is doing. Can you see? It's like that. Okay, and this is the ratio. We all know this is the fractal ratio, basically how much fractal will be there. So zero point 0.7 I guess was there. I'm going to change it, and this is the frequency ratio. So if you increase it, it will become smaller and smaller. Okay, anyway, and this is the level minimum, and this is the level maximum, and this is the bias is very important. So I'm just increasing it. Can you see I'm getting something like that kind of a pattern? Okay, now let's work a little bit over here. So this is the frequency, let's reduce it, and this is the ratio also, let's reduce it a little bit. I still am unable to remember that name. Anyway, so I guess you were getting my point, what I'm trying to get, all of you guys getting my point. So from fractal, I'm converting something like a military jacket kind of a pattern. Yes. So when this is done, I'm quite satisfied with the scaling and everything. I'm going to the color balance. Okay, because each and every texture will not have the color in its attribute only. Okay, so we have to go to the color balance. So uh, you can understand this color is getting from the color offset, and this color the color gain, and this is the default color. So let us check if we are changing the default color at the very beginning. So definitely it will be a combination of green and brown, isn't it? So combination of green. So just check if I am changing the default color, so nothing is happening. Okay, so I'm going to the color offset, and let's select this color. Now something is happening, so it is converting into a green color now. Okay, so it's looking like this. All right, now I need a similar kind of texture that will be of brown color, and I will juxtapose both the textures. Then it will look like that kind of a pattern. Okay, so just check what can be done. I'm selecting this, Control D, duplicating the same texture because I have changed the value. Only I need to change the color. And this is the placement node of it. Just try to understand. Last day we discussed it. This is a placement node, this is the texture, this is the material, and this is the shading node, right? This is the network. So I have duplicated the texture, so I need a placement node also of this texture, isn't it? So what can be done, just selecting this, or if you want, you can create a different fractal also. So let's do that. It will be easy to understand. You don't have to do the connection or anything. So I'm taking a different fractal, and what I'm doing, I, I'm connecting it with this. And you can see we cannot connect both the fractal with the color. Any one we can connect. So now the second fractal. So let's check. So we didn't do anything. So at the very beginning, I'm just increasing the bias. We have seen the bias worked last time, right? And the frequency ratio, it was very small amount. Okay, and the ratio also was very less, something like this. Now once again, going to the color balance, and this is the color offset, and this time I'm taking kind of brownish color, the color of the soil basically. They use like this. It can be towards the maroon a little bit. Okay, okay, it is called camouflage. Yes, camouflage pattern it is called. Okay, so I'm having, let's disconnect it. I'm having one green color texture and one red color texture. Okay, now I want to connect both the textures to this material. All of you understood the problem, what we need to do, and what we supposed to solve? All of you guys understood that? Okay, all right. Because we cannot connect both the textures together to this material, so we need to do something. For that, I need to take a help from a third node over here. So if I am getting a third node, I am connecting both the textures, and that node is connected to the color, then this can be done. That's the only way to do it, because it can contain only one node. This color property can contain, this color property can contain only one node, not both the nodes. So for that, what I'm going to do, we are having something called other textures. So we talked about 2D textures, we talked about 3D textures, and we are also having other textures. Okay, in other textures, we are having layered texture. Okay, I'll try to make you understand what is this node. This layered texture is like the layering of Photoshop. You can keep different layers, and this is the default layer. Okay, so what I am going to do, just select this and connect it with the color. So this node is connected with that. And you can see the green color layer this texture is having, so it is getting the green color. Okay, now in this layer I can keep this also, a third texture also, fourth texture also, like in Photoshop, in layer you can keep so many textures. So same thing over here. Okay, so in this, what I'm going to do, just middle mouse, drag and drop. You can see, you can You can see uh, this fractal one is connected with this, and now drag and drop, middle mouse drag and drop this, and this is also connected. Just try to understand the network. I'm having two textures connected to one layered texture. This is the reason it is called layered texture, because it can contain several layers. And now this layered texture is connected with the material. All right. Now still green is seen. These two are not seen because this is the top layer in Photoshop. Just try to imagine this is the top layer. These two are bottom layers. Definitely the top layer will be visible, isn't it? So just cross it. Okay. Now you can see. Now you can see the fractal one is visible and fractal two is the bottom layer. It's not visible, right? Then what? In Photoshop, what we do? We multiply. We change the blending mode, isn't it? We change the blending mode. So just selecting this and blend mode instead of over. Uh, I'm just assuming it can be multiply. Okay, but you know what? Still, it's not very convincing. It's becoming black because the position of both the textures are at the same place. So I need to just rotate it a little bit. So can anybody tell from where I can rotate the texture a little bit? Can anybody? I need to
Yes.
rotate. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Rotate
Yes.
Lewis rim
Rotate
in place
UV.
to the texture. Yes.
Yes. Correct. Correct. Yes. So from the placement node we can do it. So just take any, maybe the top placement node. I'm just selecting. Okay, and ro either rotate frame or rotate UV. Both will work. So let's rotate the frame 90-degree, maybe. Now can you see? We are getting a kind of camouflage texture. What I'm feeling, this texture, okay, instead of this color, can go a little bit towards the yellow. It will look more brown. Yes, this is looking much better. Something like this. Okay, guys, all of you understood this? How you can create your own textures? Concept is clear, no? Once again, I'm showing you the concept. Okay, in Hypershade, you need to understand. First, first of all, first of all, you need a material on the surface. Whenever you are going to do the texturing, you need a material. Remember this. You need a material. First of all, okay, the material is assigned. Then you can talk about texture. So in that, one layered texture is assigned in the color. Today I am talking only about color. So in the color, you have assigned a layered texture. Layered texture is connected. Okay. Now inside this layered texture, we are having two textures, fractal 1 and fractal 2. It is like Photoshop layers. So these two cannot be seen together until unless we are using a blending mode. So selecting the top layer in Photoshop also, we are going to do the same thing. So selecting the top layer, going to its blending mode, and instead of over, I am changing it to multiply, and the bottom texture is visible. And in each texture, definitely there will be the placement node. By default, it will come. If you are not creating this, then you will never get a proper texturing. The placement will be not proper. So we need a placement node. By default, it will come. So going to any of its placement node, this also will work, this also will work. So going to this, rotate frame 90, or rotate UV 90. Both will work. It's need not to be 90 also. It can be 85, it can be 110, 120, something like that. But it should not be zero. Then that black patch will come. Like both the textures are on, means on the top of each other. So multiply, what will happen? It will become black. So this is the camouflage texture. So I am expecting all of you will practice this. Very, very important. So first practice the chessboard. Just aligning the wooden texture. That is the main goal of that assignment. And in this, how to create your own texture. Okay, by using fractal. Today I have shown only this one. By using fractal, you can create your own texture. Okay, guys, this much all of you understood? Okay, yes. So now let's move on. I'm deleting everything. Uh, before that, try to recognize everything. Suppose I have closed the hypershade, and sometimes what will happen when you will close Maya, it will not be there anymore. Okay, it will not be there anymore. So graph, clear graph. You want to clear the work area. Okay, now uh, you want to get the network back in the work area. So what you need to do, last day also we have done. So you can see this is the use node Lambert 2. We created camouflage texture. Okay, just select this and click on this show input output connection. So we got this same network because it's there inside. Okay, now the textures you can see we have used fractal 1, fractal 2, and layer texture, right? So in the layer texture also you can see the camouflage texture we have created, right? You can see the juxtapose of these two textures. In Photoshop also we are going to do the same thing. So same thing I did over here. Okay, so these are the utilities. So these two placement nodes are the utilities. So in the utilities, those two nodes are there. Rendering, this is the default render layer we are rendering. Lights, we don't have any. Cameras, we are having 4 cameras, and these are the shading groups. Okay, so with this Lambert. Oh, uh, by chance I deleted it. So the same shading group is not visible over here. I deleted it, and that's the reason it became green. If the shading group is not there, the object will become green. Remember this. Okay. So if that shading group connection is there, and it will be visible inside the shading group. So whatever you have used in the scene, everything will be visible inside all this. All used things will be visible in inside these tabs. And this is the working area. You are going to work over here, and all the nodes you are browsing from here. Create. Okay, create nodes. So this area. All right. So let's go over here and deleting everything. Definitely, it will become green. And let's take uh, Blin this time. Okay. Now, totally different concept. Try to understand. Very, very important. Very, very important. Till the last day of your 3D career, if you are doing texturing, look development, this is going to help you. This concept today I'm talking about. So just select this, right click, assign material to viewport selection, and you can see the Blin is assigned. Okay. So I am going to create a cage. Okay, in fairs you have seen the motorbike show inside the cage. So so this kind of circular cage will be there. You want to create something like that, and uh, that will be at the background. So the modeling is not very much important in that. So we want a cage model or simulation model. I guess you can understand what I mean by cage model and simulation model. So this will be a cage. So what I need to do? Okay, let us try to understand. So first of all, the bleen is assigned, the material is assigned to the object, and I'm going to the 2D texture, and let's create a grid, because grid is looking like a cage, and that is the reason I'm taking grid, right? Selecting this, and let's connect with the color, and you can see we're getting something like this. So if it is a cage, then there should be more repetitions, isn't it? So I'm going to the placement node, and these can be six, maybe. I guess eight. Yeah, this is fine. And the vertically, it can be also eight, maybe a little more. It can be 12, something like this. Cage. Okay. Um, I know this area and this area is problematic, but I'm not trying to make it complicated. So just ignore this part and this part. It's not correct. Okay. But just try to understand the concept. Now in this, so this will be the railing part of it. Okay. And this black area should be transparent. All of you understood this much or not? What I said, the railing part and the transparent part. All of you understood this? Okay, all right. Now, in this, I'm going to the material. So we know if we want it, the property is transparency, not any more color. Isn't it? Isn't it? I want some part transparent. So if I increase this, what's happening? The entire part is transparent. And if I decreasing it, entire part is opaque. I want it partially. This part should be transparent and this part should be opaque. Is that clear, all of you? All of you? Yes. So now, don't you think if I can create a map, so black color means opaque, white color means transparent. So if I can create a map, that is called a map, which can contain different information. Okay, so black and white. Black is, once again, black is opaque and white becoming transparent. So if I can create a map where the cage will be black and in between part will be white, then this portion will be transparent and this portion will become opaque, isn't it? So let's try to do that. So this time what I'm going to do, I'm just duplicating it. Middle mouse dragging and dropping. Okay, now there is a problem. In previous version of Maya, we used to do that, but now it was much more simpler. So just check what is written over here. Out UV filter size to UV filter size, grid UV filter size. Okay, so from here, out UV filter size. Filter size and this one out UV to UV chord. So simply it is connected, but this one, okay, it's not getting connected. So not a problem. So what I am going to do, just delete this. This also I'll show you how to connect these two. But for now, let's do it like this. Okay. Only one thing we have changed over here. So this placement node, I have made it 8 by 12. I think this is much more simpler than to find that property. Okay. The grid is ready. These two are same grid basically. Okay. Another thing could be done basically, just select this and duplicate with shading network. So go to edit, duplicate, and duplicate with shading network. Then also this can automatically it will duplicate with the shading network. That also could be done. But I wanted to show you manually how to do it. Okay, so maybe later on I'll show you. I just need to find that property. Anyway, so what I was doing basically, so this was the transparency. Once again, I'm reminding you the black, opaque, and white transparent. Okay, so the railing should be black. So let us go to the grid, and this is the line color. So it should be black, and filler color should be white. Tell me, all of you understood this map? Because I want the same placement. So these two maps, this map and this map, just is the opposite. Okay, so I'm just selecting this and drag and drop to the transparency this time. Okay, let us see what's happening. Can you see? Our model is just a sphere, but the output we are getting is a railing, is a cage. Okay, all of you got this, what I did? The concept is clear, no? What I did just now? All right. So now let's try to understand. There are few problems. Okay. The problems are, can you see something in between? Can you see over here? Okay. Let's make it a little bit prominent so that uh, you can understand it properly. It's too much. So the glossiness of it. Okay. The glossiness of it in the transparent part also, it is visible. It should not be. Only this much the glossiness should be there in the railing, right? So for that, don't you think that we need to create uh, another map, and that will be basically this specular color. So if it is like this, then it is looking fine. If the glossiness is there, then it's problematic. But the railing will be of metal. The glossiness should be there. Then what? Then for the glossiness also, we need to create a map like this. Okay, so let us check. For the glossiness, just selecting this, just take just try to use this duplicate and shading network. Okay, what's happening? You can see same connection. This is what I was trying to do it manually over here, but like this also you can do. Once again I'll show you how I did it. Just select this. I want to duplicate this, so go to edit, duplicate, shading network. So the same thing, I got it over here. Okay, all right. And this time the railing should be white, but this should be black. then only the railing should have the specular color. So just selecting the beam, drag and drop to the specular color. And let us check what's happening. Can you see? Only the railing is having the specularity and rest of the part is empty. Now this is looking much more convincing. All right. Now, don't you think if it is having a little bit of thickness, it will look more convincing? Let us check. Let us check. So I'm taking the same shading group, taking the same shading group. Okay. And edit, duplicate, shading network. Okay. What is happening to understand that what I'm going to do, I'm just disconnecting all these just to make you understand. Now nothing is there. I need only the thickness. So you know what I'm going to do? Just select this. I told later on after 2 lectures, I will tell you what is the meaning of this bump mapping. Okay. So I'm connecting this grid to this bump mapping. And what's happening? Another node has been created over here, and this is called the bump node. And where it is coming? It is coming from the utility. So I'll just show you this bump 2D node. It is created over here. Now what's happening? Come over here. Can you see a thickness? Only the thickness is there, and just select this node, and automatically this is the depth of it. So you can reduce it, maybe zero point 0.1 instead of 1. This is looking much better, I think. 0.05. Yeah, this is looking better. We're getting the thickness, though the model is like this only. But through texturing, we are getting all this. Okay, so this is the bump we are getting, and this is looking absolutely fine. And then once again, coming back, so this is the color, this is the transparency, and this is the specular color. So specular color. And bump is already connected, so this is our shading network. And let us check. So it is having a thickness also, it is having a transparency also. Okay, now let's go to the color, and the line color, let's make it something, just to understand, something like yellow, that will we can see the specular shading.
So,
Okay, yes, Sagar.
so फर्स्ट और टू सेकंड प्लेसमेंट में अपोजिट कलर है ना, इसलिए वो ऐसा है ना रेलिंग में
Hmm. You know,
वाइट
in the
एंड ब्लैक.
transparency, yeah, in the transparency, we have seen if it is black, then it is opaque. If it is white, then it is transparent. So by default, our map is the railing is white, but in the transparency, we just need the opposite, no?
ओके सर,
Because this,
ट्रांसपेरेंसी चेंजेस.
yeah, the transparency we need white in this area. That is the reason I line color I made it black and the fill color I made it white. That is the reason. Understood? So now let's let's create a sphere inside so that you know. So physically it is like this, not the illumination. So like this, so many areas. Sometimes I tell no that you don't have to do it manually. In texturing, will do. So this is the process in texturing we do. This is only the model. So minimum number of faces, but the output is looking like a detailed model. So this is the way we work. Okay. So don't worry. I am showing you um, another example of the same thing. Okay, just to clear your concept a little bit more. Or let's create a plane. Let's create a plane. Okay, and this time, let's create a plane. Create a plane and create a checker box. Checker box, and then give it to the color. Pressing 6, and it's looking like this. In this, I want to see only the white areas and black areas should be transparent. All of you understood? The same thing. I want to see only the white portion and black portion should be transparent. Okay. So you people will tell me, I will keep doing this time. I want to check how much you understood. Come on, guys. You people just keep telling me. What should I do? First of all.
So first do a duplicate of placement node.
Yes. So I'll duplicate this, edit, duplicate, sharing network, right? I have done it. All right, then
Connect it to transparency.
connecting it with transparency. Okay, all right. Now the thing is, the white portion became transparent, black portion became opaque. I wanted just the opposite. Then
Change transparency.
I'll change the transparency. That means
Black to white.
color 1 should be black, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And color 2 should be yes. So I wanted something like this. Okay, but can you see the specularity is there in this also? For that, what I should do?
Another duplicate and then
Okay, so
connect the specular
yeah, I'm duplicating it another time, and let's connect it with the
specular.
Specularity.
specular color. Yes, all right, this is fine. Okay, now I want a little bit depth. What should I do?
Another duplication, then bump
Another
map.
duplication, right? So duplicate. Then what?
Uh, Connected to bump mapping.
Correct. So connecting to bump mapping. So I'm having this bump 2D. Okay, it's too much. Like the black patches should not be visible. Okay, that means it is too much. So first let's make it point 1. Sorry, point 1. It's fine. It could be little less, 0.05 maybe. This is all right. It's looking fine. Can you see at the border also specularity is visible, right? This is what we wanted basically, and this is the result. So this is just a plane, but we are getting the result like this. This is the beauty. So you keep anything, uh, not this. You keep anything.
So for सर
Hmm,
आपने जो
hmm,
व्हाइट को
hmm,
ट्रांसपेरेंट को
hmm,
मतलब ब्लैक को ट्रांसपेरेंसी करने के लिए किया तो
hmm.
नोट की जगह हम सर इंटरचेंज भी कर सकते हैं ना मतलब पहले वाला नोट सेकंड को लगाना है सेकंड फर्स्ट
Yes, 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 yes. Can be. That also can be done. Generally, in this case, not every case. Inside Maya, it will be like this. Uh, I don't know why Maya developers they made it like that. By default, if I am designing this software, no, by default I will keep the transparency to the white. That will be the default. That should be the default color because it works with alpha. Later on, otherwise students will be confused a little bit because all the other maps, transparency map will work just the opposite. That's the problem. But anyway, in this case, just remember this much. When the slider is towards the black, that is opaque. Slider is towards the white, it's transparent. Just remember this one. So our map also should be the same. So this is the transparency map I am using. So I have kept it the same. So this is black, white part is opaque. Color 2 is the black part. So this is white. So that is transparent. I did the same. Okay. So our model is like this, but our texture is like this. So in the checkerboard also, chessboard also, there can be a single plane, and then the textures like this can be done. That also will look convincing. Through bump mapping, you can do that so that all these square shapes will look separate, separate elements kept over there, pasted over there. It will look more convincing. Okay, and see, it is looking like physically it's like this. So you can convert things like that. So some cases you are making a building, a railing is there, and you are making a building and a railing is there, the window frame is there, in front of the window a railing is there, all those things, a pattern is there, in the balcony some pattern is there, everything you are going uh, to do with the same concept. Okay, you actually don't have to model it, uh, but through texturing you are going to do it. But remember, if the camera is going, suppose the railing you have created and camera is going this close, okay, and you are going to show a little thickness over here, that time you need to model it. This process will not work. So according to your movie, according to your camera angle, you are going to change it. Okay, I guess you are getting my point. All of you understood, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, for
So,
uneven surfaces, bump mapping will work
sorry.
for uneven surfaces.
Yeah, for an uneven surface, I'll just show you. Bump mapping will work. So I'll just delete all this, and this is only a plane. This is only a plane, and let's create a 2D texture. Maybe a fractal only. Okay, and let's connect it with a bump mapping, and and let's check what's happening. I guess you are getting my point. Okay, so like this
Yes,
also
sir.
you can check your textures. Like now you can see the threshold. What is the actual meaning of threshold? Just check. I guess now you are getting the point. What is the meaning of threshold, right? Something like this. Okay, now it is a little bit so amplitude also. Can you see the overall value of the texture? The overall value of the texture. Okay, that is the amplitude. This is the ratio. Okay, and this is the frequency ratio. So scaling is very big, and if I increase it, scaling is too less. The frequency. This is the level minimum. Inside happening actually, like how much height the illumination will come. So that is coming. Can you? Yeah, I guess now you understood. Now increasing the height, so level max, and this is the bias. Increasing the contrast basically. Okay, so 0 was fine. Okay, so definitely any black and white texture, any grayscale texture can be a bump map. Remember this. So like this. So now I guess you were getting the point, like for what it is called, the soil and all, the landscape, everything. Suppose I'm having a little bit UV patches. You know, through this bump mapping also, you can make things convincing, right? So from a distance, it will look fine. Now, if the camera is going too close like this, then so still it is looking convincing. See, still looking fine. But if it is going too close, then it will not work anymore. Then it will be visible like it is just a map, just the illusion. But from a distance, definitely yes, can be used. So bump map is just the illusion. I guess you are getting my point, guys. So much of possibilities basically. Anyway, so guys, as I told today, I supposed to finish it at 11. So I'll just quickly take the attendance.